Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is a part of series where I'll help you in cracking coding interviews easily and correct your approach while attempting a problem. And definitely in this series I'll prepare you for 1 hour of your coding interview, and I called it a game-changing 1 hour because it can change your entire career, right? And I will tell you how you should effectively utilize your time in that 1 hour of your interview. And I have put my 10 plus year of experience in making it 3 golden rules which you have to follow during that entire interview, and that will help you in cracking those coding interviews very easily. And also we will go through that those coding 3 golden rules shortly. And before that, as you know, we are focusing on map problem to correct your approach and how you should apply these rules while attempting an interview, right? So around map problems we will also see few map problems, and we will see how these rules work there. Okay, and basically on map front, right, I have solved more than 500 plus of questions, and from my experience I have handpicked around just 10 questions which are sufficient to make you expert in solving map questions. And also now quickly we will go through 3 golden rules, and then we will see how you should apply them. So I'm just going through the first golden rule. So if you know, right, you have around 1 hour for an interview, and most probably people ask you 2 questions most probably, right? So what I think is 30 minutes is the time limit to solve one question if that is an easy question. So that's why our first golden rules comes in. So first golden rule says you have to spend around 5 to 10 minutes to understand the question, and that is very important. So I have seen lot of candidates who don't focuses on understanding questions, and they don't ask any clarifying question, and they directly jump onto the solutions, right? So that is the very bad approach. You should at least spend 5 to 10 minutes, not more than 10 minutes, in understanding the question, in understanding questions through example, right? So that is very important. So just go through few examples, try to understand, try to mock on those examples and see if your understanding is correct. And also once this is done, just make sure to summarize your understanding about the question with interviewer. That is very important, because agar aapne 10 minute, if you are not if you haven't understand the question correctly, then your entire interview is a waste, right? So don't waste this time minutes. So these are very crucial. So this is my first golden rule. So just spend 5 to 10 minutes on understanding question and ask clarifying questions with your interviewer. And now here comes our second golden rules, right? So in second golden rule, we will talk about an approach, how you should formulate an approach. So first step to do this is first of all, you should spend around 5 to 10 minutes in formulating an approach on your own, right? Just think how you should solve the problem, and if you are stuck, then just tell your thought process and finding till now. So for example, if you are spending more than 5 hours, just pause there. Whatever you have thought till now, just discuss with your interviewer. If you are going on some wrong path, he might correct you, right? So that's why it's very crucial to have interactive session during the interview. Just try to discuss with interviewer in some gaps, right? I'm not saying to discuss too much. If you are not sure about things and you keep on discussing, that is also not good. But yeah, keep interview engaging. So just try to do that. Okay. And then how you have to approach the problem, so that is very important. And before that also, when you thought of an approach, right, so some people I have seen they use copy and pen, right? So in that way, interviewer won't be able to understand what exactly you are thinking. So I strongly recommend, if you are having online interview, right, then you should use that comment section. You can use comment section to do the rough work and formulate your approach. And if you are doing face-to-face interview, then definitely it makes sense to have copy and pen and then just think, right? So this is one of the crucial steps that you should follow so that you keep on engaging with your interviewer. And now let's see the third most important thing while formulating an approach is while formulating an approach for a question is how you are thinking. So basically, every question starts with a brute force. In interview, you won't be asked such questions where you cannot able to think of a solution, right? So that's very rare, right? So in most of the interviews, around 80 to 90%, you will be asked such questions that you can easily solve in that 30 minutes. Okay, so the best way best way to approach a question is like just think of an brute force, right? How you will do that in a brute force, and shortly I will explain you with few examples how you will do that. And then once you have thought of like in brute force, then you have to think of an optimization. And if you are very clear of an brute force, then I'm sure you can think of an optimization if you are aware of data structures and algorithms. So that's why that picture came in of like data structure and algorithm, their operations with my time complexities and all those, right? So that's why. And second most important thing that you should do offline is like practicing more, right? So as much as you practice, you will close the bridge between brute force and optimization. So what happens, so when you are beginner, right, so you will think of an brute force and then you will take some time to optimize it, right? But as you keep on practicing, so first thing that comes in your mind will be brute force, but quickly within few seconds you will be able to think of an optimization, right? So just keep practicing more so that you can close this gap between brute force and optimization. And now comes the important part. Before jumping into coding, just try to explain your approach to the interviewer. Whatever algorithm, whatever data structure you are choosing, if you have multiple choice of data structure, then just try to discuss with him and discuss the time complexity. Try to discuss time complexity as well, right? And explain your approach in very few lines, 2 to 5 lines. And if you are taking more than 5 lines in explaining your approach, then definitely you are doing something wrong, right? So this is very important rule, right? You have to be very precise. So when you attempt a problem offline as well, then also just try to do this thing. So if you are solving some questions, then just try to summarize your approach in 2 to 5 lines and 2 to 5 lines. And if you are exceeding more than 5 lines, then definitely something is wrong. Okay, so just try to reiterate the approach. Okay, and this will come from practice. So whenever you do offline practice, just follow this approach. Whenever you understood the question, then just think smartly and see how you will explain this to your interview, right? When you will have interview, so you have to basically prepare for that 1 hour during your entire course, right? So that is just kind of a film, right? That is 1 hour, but there is a lot of hard work behind it, and this will help you in preparing for that 1 hour, right? Just mock your approach. Whenever you are trying to code a solution, just first finalize your approach in 2-3 lines, and with an example try to explain to the interviewer, okay, and to yourself also. It will help you in coding. And then now let's jump into our third golden rule, which is like a very important again. Yeah, now once your approach is clear, as I said, right, you will have your approach ready in 3 to 5 lines, right? If you are exceeding more than that something is wrong. So just focus on approach till then and keep discussing on with your interview. Now comes the coding phase. As I said, if you have 3 to 5 lines of approach, then it will hardly take 10 to 15 minutes in coding. And I would strongly recommend you to just jump onto the Python if you can, right? So it will help you in coding fast. And also, once you have coded the entire solution, right, so now you are basically now till golden rule tool, you are sure like you are coding approach correctly. And now coding is quite simple, right? Just try to divide your approach and code it, and it again comes with the practice. As long and as many as question you will practice, you will code it fast. Okay, so do that. And after that, just keep some 5 minutes to like basically mention time complexity of your solution, space complexity of your solution. And also if interviewer is interested, because he was observing you, right, so he might not ask you for like explanation of a code, but if he insists, you can just like explain him the approach and the code. Okay, so that is like a golden rule. Third, just take 10 to 15 minutes for the coding, and for that you have to practice a lot. It's not like you have to basically practice a lot of questions so that you can finish coding in 10 to 15 minutes, right? Okay, so now we will just like shortly jump onto a question of HashMap, and then we will see how you have to follow these rules, right? And we will just keep 30 minutes to solve a particular question, and how effectively you need to organize your time I will tell you. Okay,